Hi, my name is Martha. I'm a sexologist in Singapore, and I have decided to do a series where I interview authors based in Singapore. And today I have with me Otto Fong, and he actually has published 7 books, and he is quite amazing. He goes into schools and talks about his books, and students actually buy them from him. So I'll get him to talk more about his 7 books that are actually split into two different series. So tell us a little bit more about your books.
Okay. The very first of my own self-publishing is called Sir Fong's Adventures in Science. Book 1 has a very long title called Atoms, Molecules, Elements and Compounds and Models. So
very cheap.
Yes, but actually if you look at it, right, it's very simple. It's just simple illustrations in
but for
each
complex
page.
Concepts.
Yes, the whole point is to get kids to see, oh, wait a minute, this is a very simple, direct way to understand science. And it features the main character of Toto the bunny and all his science adventures. The books, so far I have 4 books. Each one covers a different topic in science and it's based on the primary and secondary school science syllabus. And it's a fun and exciting way of presenting science wrapped up in an adventure stories. It's a fun way for kids to laugh and at the same time see that science is actually friendly, not something that they should be afraid of. And even on some of the concepts, right, they are not covered until secondary 1 and 2, right? The kids will find it familiar because they have read about it in the story, so therefore
and then they are not scared.
That's right. When the teacher says, okay, we're going to talk about this concept called refraction, then the kids say, wait a minute, I read that in the Sir Fong book.
Oh my god, it's quite amazing what you're talking about, because what you're doing is you're sharing with them something more important than science. You're actually helping them overcome any fear of the unknown.
Yes.
Because they already know the concept, so they're not scared anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the important thing. That they don't see science concept coming at them like some horrible monster, and then they can bring it into their home, they can bring it into their life, and they can carry it with them even if they grow older. And the scientific method is useful in all aspects of life. If you observe Doraemon, the very famous Japanese cat, right? 40 years or 50 years ago he was created, and I think all the kids fell in love with him. And they all wanted a robotic companion. So of course at that time it was impossible. So what these kids do is when they grow up, they become engineers, they become robotic specialists, they become computer expert programmers, and you see a flourishing love for robots in Japan. And that is because of all these comic books. So I created a series called Sir Fong's Adventures in Science, and the purpose is to get Asian kids to see that, you know, science is something that is fun, is friendly, is useful, and it should be with them for the rest of their lives.
So you were a science teacher yourself, and you saw some of these issues that you wanted to create this to make science fun, and it's something that actually kids really internalize and really enjoy, and it becomes something that they have for life, and they're more likely to go on and do something with what they learn than just memorization.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful, really.
Thank you.
And the second series you were saying?
Okay, my second series is called Black Peony. This is a sci-fi adventure / horror story for people in the age of 9 to 14. I named it after my mom. Her nickname amongst her friends when she was young was Black Peony because she has dark skin. Okay, but the story is actually, these are a novel set. It's about this young female centaur called Peony, who was part of the intergalactic guard force. She did something wrong and she was banished to Earth, whereby she was to guard this little lonely outpost in Thailand, disguise herself as an orphan in an orphanage, and make sure that the well behind the orphanage is well guarded. Why? Because underneath the well, and strange things are crawling out from it because this time-space portal opened up underneath the well. It's almost like the ring, you know, Sadako climbing up from the well, and the villagers are freaked out because they are basically still a bit more superstitious. But Black Peony, knowing with her, you know, advanced technology, she's not afraid. So she's going to deal with it, and she's going to prove herself that she can protect the people of the planet. And the other interesting aspect about this novel is about orphans. Because Black Peony has to disguise herself as an orphan living amongst the other orphans in an orphanage. And I think the Asian orphans story has to be told, because I think it gives us a deeper understanding and appreciation of our Asian neighbors and some of the problems that they face. Well, because you write your own, you draw your own, it takes a long time. The production period is like, you know, 6 months to 8 months, and then after that I have to make sure that I liaise with the printers, I liaise with my book distributor, and I have to get them to say, hey, get me into the schools, get me into popular book fairs, get me into this book fairs. I will do free talks, free assembly talks, and I'll go into schools, and if they, you know, all I'm asking is that they give me a chance. I talk to the students. If the students like the book, the next day they buy my books. So there's no pressure there. Okay, so if so I find that it's very exciting, but at the same time it's very challenging. There were days when the sales are not that great, you know, the purchasing power of the school is not that fantastic, or it's too close to the exams. The parents say don't buy any books, and then you go, you know, you haul out the same stack of books that you brought in, and you go like, why am I doing this? Why don't I just settle with a, you know, easier job and still get paid better? And then I remember my dad, who don't know anything about business, but he has to bring money to the table. So he was very thick-skinned. He took his car and he drove all around Malaysia, and he cold called all the companies, and he just talked to them the best he could. And then in my moments of despair, when I'm sitting in my car, I realized, hey, wait a minute, if my dad done this, and I now have a chance to experience a little bit of what he did, then that's my privilege. And even though I'm an author, I have the chance to taste what it's like to be like my dad, to try to bring food to the table, and then that kept me going. When I first started out about 7 years ago, the most popular paper used in local novel is the bright white paper, and those are the exact same paper that is used for assessment books, and they come with a lower cost. For me, I've always enjoyed reading on yellow paper, and then I find out that yellow paper is more pleasing to the eye. It doesn't hurt the eye so much. So if I want my readers to enjoy an experience, and knowing that if I use white paper I'm hurting their eyes, then I would be dishonest to my readers. So I insisted on using yellow paper. It's more expensive, but I think on the long run I'm glad I made that choice. As you can see nowadays, most local books are now on yellow paper. So that's my second series. I will be working on a third book later this year. As for Sir Fong, I'll be working on the fifth book. The first 4 books have been doing well. So far I've sold about 15,000 copies, which is very good.
That's a lot.
Which is very good by local standards.
Yes, it's considered a bestseller.
Yes.
In Singapore, if you sell more than 1,000 books, it's considered a bestseller.
Yes.
But that's a lot.
And I'm very proud of it, because I think because it's tied to the science syllabus, and because kids actually want to read it. Every time I put out a book, right, and it ends up in the library, right, you can see that a lot of the library borrow rate is like all loaned out. So I can see that there's a response there.
Yeah.
So I'm working on book 5. NUS is paying me to do a fellowship for the Center of Quantum Technologies, and then using the Sir Fong characters, Toto the Bunny, to talk about a very freaky aspect of science, which is quantum mechanics.
Okay.
So I'm really excited that these are the 2 projects that I'm going to be working on in 2015 this year.
Yeah.
As long as I think we put our best foot forward every day, we're going to become something that we're going to be proud of at in the future.
So thank you so much for your time. Really, I really appreciate it. I thought that, you know, you'll just be talking about your books, but really you have inspired me with your story about your dad, your own struggles, and how it inspires you not to give up. So that is like a story within a story, and you are a remarkable person. You truly are. So where can people buy your books?
I'm very proud to say that all the bookstores in Singapore, Popular, Kinokuniya, what's the other one? Was it MPH or Times? One of those. They all carry my books. So if they don't, just ask them for it. They know that, you know, what books are those.
And for people who want to follow your work, where can they go? Your website, your Facebook?
Yeah. My website is undergoing a major revamp right now. I'm going to be pushing it up very soon. It's called Autonium Comics, one word. Autonium Comics with an S at the end. .com. And you can find most of my works there.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for this interview. It's always nice to be reminded, and always nice to have a chance to share about, you know, my work.